I was already standing beside her when she said it. The reception desk was crowded. Laughter, glasses clinking, a photographer hovering like a vulture. She smiled, bright and effortless. The smile I used to think was mine. Someone asked who I was. She didn't look at me when she answered, "Oh, he's just a friend." Just a friend. The words landed softly, like a silk scarf tightening around my throat. I felt the room tilt, just a degree. Not enough for anyone to notice, enough for me to understand everything. I smiled. I even nodded, as if she'd introduced me correctly. I said 2 words, calm as breath. Just an X. Then I turned and walked out. 4 minutes later, the room stopped breathing. We weren't always strangers pretending to be polite. Once we were a system. We had routines that fit together like gears. Sunday mornings with burnt coffee, late-night drives with the windows down, arguments that ended in silence and hands finding each other anyway. We planned things, not dreams, plans, concrete, measured, shared. I trusted her with my passwords, my calendar, my mother's hospital records. She trusted me with her fear of being ordinary, with the soft truth she never said out loud, that she wanted more eyes on her, more applause, more proof she mattered. I loved her quietly. I built things around her quietly. That was my mistake. The betrayal didn't arrive like a storm. It seeped in like carbon monoxide. Small inconsistencies, a calendar edit here, a locked phone there, a new laugh that didn't belong to me. I noticed everything. I just didn't react. Not yet. The moment it clicked wasn't dramatic. No lipstick on a collar, no whispered phone call. It was a receipt, folded wrong. Dinner for 2 at a place she claimed to hate. A timestamp that overlapped with a late meeting. I held the paper and felt the pain pass through me like a clean blade. Pain is loud when you resist it, silent when you accept it. I accepted it. That night, I stopped asking questions. I started listening. I let her talk. I let her lie. I watched patterns form. People think betrayal makes you reckless. It doesn't. It makes you precise. I gathered facts the way accountants gather numbers, slowly, legally. Screenshots backed up to a cloud she didn't know existed. Messages forwarded to an encrypted drive. I hired no one. I told no one. I didn't need allies. I needed time. While she planned her future without me, I redesigned mine. I separated our finances without noise, shifted assets, documented contributions, updated beneficiaries. I spoke to a lawyer under the guise of planning. The law is a language. Once you learn it, you can write endings. I rehearsed nothing. Rehearsal invites mistakes. I waited for a moment that would present itself. It always does. The invitation to the reception came 2 weeks later, a mutual friend, a celebration. She insisted I come, said it would be good for closure. She practiced that word, closure, like a trick. I arrived early, watched her work the room, watched him too, the other man. He stayed just close enough to claim space, just far enough to deny it. Amateur. When she introduced me as just a friend, it wasn't an accident. It was a test. She wanted to see if I'd flinch, if I'd correct her, if I'd make a scene and prove her narrative right. I didn't. I smiled. I said my line. I left. Outside, the night air was cool. I checked my watch. Then I sent one email. I'd prepared it days earlier, addressed to the right people, attached with the right documents, worded with care. No accusations, just facts, timelines, transfers, inconsistencies. A quiet request for review. 4 minutes is a long time when the truth is moving faster than gossip. Inside, phones began to buzz. First one, then another. Conversations stalled. Smiles froze mid-performance. The photographer lowered his camera. Someone whispered my name. She felt it before she understood it. She always did. Her eyes scanned the room, searching for a threat that wasn't visible anymore. Then her phone lit up. Her smile cracked, not shattered, cracked, a soundless fracture. He checked his phone too, his face drained. He stepped back from her without thinking. Survival instinct. The truth doesn't need a microphone. It spreads on its own. By the time I reached my car, the room behind me had reorganized itself around a new center of gravity. Not her, not him, the facts. I didn't watch the fallout. I never do. Revenge isn't about witnessing pain. It's about restoring balance. Later, I heard details. How the host asked her to step aside, how questions came from all directions, how he denied everything until confronted with timestamps he couldn't outrun, how silence became heavier than accusation. She called me that night, 12 times. I didn't answer. She emailed, long messages, short ones, apologies shaped like explanations, explanations shaped like blame. I read none of them. Reading implies consideration. I was finished considering. Weeks passed, consequences matured. The review turned into an audit. The audit turned into resignations. Opportunities evaporated. Invitations stopped. People are brave when nothing is at stake. They're honest when everything is. I ran into her once by accident, a grocery store, different lighting, no audience. She looked smaller, not physically, internally, like someone who had misplaced herself. She opened her mouth, closed it. I nodded once, polite, distant, final. Walking away that first night wasn't surrender, it was positioning. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't plead, I didn't beg to be remembered correctly. I let the record speak. I let the system work. I let time do what time always does to lies. It exposes their structure. People still ask how I stayed so calm, as if calm is weakness, as if silence is absence. Calm is control. I lost a relationship that day. I gained clarity. I gained myself back. I learned that dignity isn't loud, and revenge doesn't have to be cruel to be complete. She called me just a friend. I corrected her once. The rest corrected itself. And that's the part they never forget.